Hi there! Sorry we're sat in the dark again, but as you might guess, I thought I'd do a lighting video to let you see how I'm getting on. We're doing the lighting for Sunny View Villa. I think the last video I did on this, we had the cooker where I'd put the LED lighting into the cooker, so it looks like the grill and the oven is flickering on. And here, I've done the same with the fireplace. And you might recognise this fireplace if you watched my previous videos. This is the one that we put into Sunny View Villa, you know, the big house that has windows all the way around all four sides. And this was the fireplace that I was wondering whether it was a bit big for the house because it was a bit large for the lounge, but we decided we'd probably keep with it. I had lots of people give me wonderful comments on it. And most people seem to think it would probably work okay. And in hindsight, I think I agree with them and I think it would work quite nicely in there. So I'm going to work with this fireplace. And then I gave it some lighting as well. So it's on just 2 glass blocks. These are just little glass cubes that I purchased, which I thought were rather cute. Bought a whole box of them. Again, not sure what I'm going to use them for, but you know, these things always come in useful, don't they? And then I've made some Fimo polymer clay coals to go over the top. And then in here, we've got 3 flickering LED lights to give the idea of the fireplace being on, you know, with some lovely fire being in the hearth there. And I think that works quite nice. So hopefully you can see it okay, even though it's quite dark in here. Now, obviously this will be wired up properly in the house, but at the moment I've just got it in this power bank here, and I've got a little temporary circuit board, and the wires are incredibly long. I've left them really long. So hopefully they can go up to the attic in the house, which is where I'll have the little circuit board for all the wires to go into. Did a similar idea with the fridge like I did in Lilac Lodge. In Lilac Lodge, I put a light in the fridge and we've got Granny stood outside the fridge and it looks like she's trying to get something out of the fridge. And I thought I'd do the same with this one as well. I think it's rather effective. It really does look like the fridge light is on, doesn't it? So it's rather nice. Quite impressed with how these come out actually. So even with the door closed, it glows quite nicely, doesn't it? All that rattling around is all the food inside the fridge. And then you've got the door open, it will look like someone's perhaps getting something out of the fridge as well. So I think that works quite nice. Now what I've done with my other houses is I actually bought doll's house lighting to go in them. And then I stripped all the electrics out and put my own LED lighting in there. And in hindsight, I thought that was a bit daft, really, because they're not cheap to buy. And this is just one lamp I've got left over. You know, so for this house, I thought, well, you know, each one of these can cost as much as £8 or £9. And I don't really want to be spending that on something like this and then stripping all the lighting out and putting my own in, because the electrics is the expensive bit, really, isn't it? So I thought for Sunny View Villa, I'd have a go at making my own lights to go in there. And what I've been doing is I've been on the lookout for some nice beads that I thought might make quite nice lighting. And so I've got, this is one bead I've got. It's green with some sort of a, I don't know, glass diamante sort of pattern along here. Often these beads, they come off like bracelets or scarves or something rather than necklaces, don't they? Because they're quite thick and they've got a big hole through them. And in this, I put some wire on it so I can hang it from the ceiling. And I put an LED light in there. Now, for now, I've left the wire really long because at the moment, I just don't know how far down from the ceiling I'm going to want it to hang until I decide exactly where I'm going to put each light and how it's going to be connected up to the attic where the circuit board's going to be. But I have made a few of these and I've got a few more on the go. So this is the only one I can plug into the circuit board at the moment because they're all full up with the fire and the fridge. So I'm just going to unplug the fire and the fridge and we can have a look at the couple of other ones I've done as well. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the 3 lights here. These are the ones I've wired up already. So that's the green one we were just looking at. And I've also got the sort of beigey coloured one that we also were looking at. Same sort of idea, really. So it looks a bit like a light fitting hanging down from the ceiling. So I was quite pleased at how they turned out. I thought they looked quite nice, really. I've also got this one here. Now, this was made out of sort of necklace. It was a couple of beads from a necklace, sort of big, sort of those big necklaces that hang down low. And then I put a light in a bead that I put in the middle of here. I thought it just made an unusual light fitting. It's not a sort of normal light fitting. It's not like a normal lampshade, but I thought it made something a little bit unusual that I could hang down from the ceiling. Obviously, it's a bit tricky to see them in the dark, so what I should do is I should just pull the curtains in a minute, and then we can have a look at those closer, so you can see what they look like with the curtains pulled when we're not sat in the dark. And I've also got some other ones here that are in progress as well. I haven't put lights in them yet, so I can't light them up. But I thought you might like to see what I'm planning with those as well. So that's a bit better, isn't it? We can actually see what we're doing again. So you can see this a little bit better now. So these are the light fittings. And they've got these lovely stones in the middle with the diamante sort of stones around the outside. So they're actually quite pretty. And this is the one that I made completely from scratch. And so this is the sort of necklace that would have hung down low. You know, you get those big necklaces sort of hang here, don't they? It's a little bit flickery, but only because it's in the temporary circuit board. It won't be like that once it's wired into the house. It's because I'm moving it and they're losing its connection. And so I've got two of those, which I've stuck together. Then I've hung the LED light in one of these little beads, the sort of beads you get like on a Pandora charm bracelet. I mean, it's not Pandora, it's just a cheapy little thing. I thought it worked quite nice as an unusual light fitting. Hopefully that looked quite nice, sort of hanging down the lounge or the dining room. Quite cute, isn't it? And I've also got these 3 red beads here. These are rather nice. They were on a bracelet I picked up from, oh, you'll never guess, a car boot sale. And I will be doing the same with those as I did with these little ones. I will be putting an LED light in there and that will be a light shade for one of the rooms. Now, obviously, I've got 3 red ones, which isn't ideal really, because you don't really want the same colour lampshade in each of the rooms. So it might be I use some of these in another house, but I thought they were rather nice. They were quite cheap. They were missing some gems actually, but I remembered my husband had given me a little gem sort of sticking kit, which was rather nice. So I got that out and I was able to put some replacement gems on them. So they now look as good as new. I also got this little one as well. I was missing some diamantes as well, which again, I actually had some in my gem kit. So I was able to add some more onto here, which was rather nice. And with this little one as well, I will be putting an LED light into there. And that will be another light fitting for the house. I've also got these lovely flowers as well, and a little display of flowers. These were sort of clip-on earrings, and they look, I don't know, reasonably, I wouldn't say old, probably not that old, but they're certainly not new, I reckon. What do you reckon? Sort of 70s maybe? 60s? Probably quite popular in the 60s, wasn't it? But I thought they were rather pretty, and what I've done with those as well is I've got a little LED light in there, and I think they're going to look rather nice when they're all sorted out. And I would do the same with those, and I would make them into light fittings for the house. I thought they'd be something a little bit unusual to go into the house. Again, I haven't actually wired in those lights yet, so I can't show you them on, but I thought you might like to see what I'm planning and what I'm working on at the moment. So thanks for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed to see what I've got planned and what I've been up to. I say it doesn't look like much progress at the moment, but they're quite fiddly and they take quite a while. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date with the progress. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.